Hey, it is Monday. The weekend is over, but the fire and the fun is still here because it is day 3 of rehearsals at the Eurovision Song Contest 2019. We have semi-final 2. The first 9 acts rehearsed today, and I think we should talk about it. Are you ready? Let's do this! That's a whole lot of countries, a whole lot of DNA. See if you have relatives in these countries with my heritage. In any case, there are growers and there are showers, and now we're going to tell you who we thought grew and who shoo during rehearsals. Angus, why don't you kick us off with your biggest grower?
This is super easy. My biggest grower of the day was Moldova by a significant margin. That standout is beautiful. It has really elevated it because she can sing. She has probably among the best voices in the competition, which I say a lot, but really this time this is like among the top 2 female voices we have this year. She sounds great. It now looks expensive, and they have a concept that is distinctive and stands out in the run. So Moldova is my grower.
I'm just going to pick up on this simply because Moldova is also my biggest grower. We've talked about this earlier, but Ukraine 2011, okay, Angel, Mika Newton, bad song, get some sand. This year Moldova, bad song, get the same sand. She absolutely slays. She makes this even more emotional. Stay becomes an anthem of emotion, an anthem of, reconciliation, the washing away of relationships and building them back, bringing them back together. It's just so powerful. And the sand, it's like being on the beach. You have waves, but you also have beauty, and it comes through with the sand. Anyone else from Moldova?
As a grower?
Yeah. All right, Suzanne, who is your biggest grower?
My biggest grower is Switzerland. Everyone has talked a lot about Switzerland, and I was not a huge fan of Switzerland, but after watching the performance from the press center today, I was super impressed, and I would love to own one of those red suits that the female backup dancers were wearing. No commentary.
Can we all just sway this way for a second? And can we sway that way?
Love is forever.
Because love is forever and everyone. Denmark is my biggest grower of the day by far. I really didn't rate this song at all, really, going in. I thought Leonora wasn't a good leading lady, really. Today, she impressed me so much. It's a health and safety nightmare, but I love that. It kind of adds an element of danger in a way, in what is otherwise like a fairly lovely song, but no, I really like it. I wonder whether she'll sing in like Hebrew maybe or something in the final, just to give it up. But this has gone from something where a lot of people seem to like it. I was like, it shouldn't make the final. I really want this in the final now.
Deb at wiwibloggs.com.
Yeah, and you're living at number 22, and at some time this week you're inviting me for dinner, and I'm really excited about that because I also like number 22 from Ireland. I mean, Sarah McTurnan definitely is my biggest grower.
Sarah McTurnan out.
Oh, turning it out. She certainly did. It's so good to like a song and actually then fall in love with its visual interpretation, and that's exactly what this did for me. The sort of the pop art, the fun, girly. I just love all that. And today she brought it in spades. The number 2 spot in any competition is a tough one. But my girl, she kept me excited, wet with excitement. William Lee Adams, who is your biggest grower and how much did it grow?
It's built of sand, boo, and we already discussed it. So on we move to our biggest disappointment. This is the act which did not meet expectations and which has backtracked. Angus, why don't you start?
So I actually struggled for a disappointment today because I don't think there was anyone that I was kind of overly down on or did not like. Actually, let me reconsult the list.
I've got one.
I'll be fair. Actually, a disappointment for me, purely because I think the studio cut is very promising, but the staging, there's not really a moment to it, is Latvia. I have to say,
it's the only one you can throw under the bus.
I have to say, Carousel, that song is beautiful. They sing it very well. They have a whole jazz band vibe. I just don't think the quiet moment is really there. And actually, as a quiet song, it's super problematic how close Denmark is to it for them. That song had no, like, when you think about the recap and that 15 seconds that you want to play to make people pick up the phone, I struggle to find that 15 seconds in that performance. So for me, that was a disappointment. What about you, Suzanne?
So my biggest disappointment today is Moldova. Well, first of all,
In your ears?
There is no sand in my ears. First of all, you guys know that I'm always real big on the lyrics. Stay away from somebody else's man is what I gotta say. Stay away. But I was just super disappointed with the sand. I thought the sand was beautiful. My favorite moment with the sand was when the trunk of the tree became the cat's tail, because y'all know how much I love cats. But I felt like there could have been just so much more to the staging, so I was disappointed with Moldova.
So my disappointment, to nobody's surprise if you watched our earlier videos, is Ireland. That was as I said, amateur hour car crash. I know that a lot of people have disagreed with me in the comments, and a lot of people have supported me in the comments, but I honestly just felt like everything was so awkward, and compared with everybody else today, they seemed more prepared. And I'm sorry, there was just a lot of problems. You know, it was awkward getting on the
first rehearsal for?
Oh, do you know, I don't
no,
get it.
I understand.
I really don't
I
get
completely understand, but it just felt, compared with everything else, under-rehearsed before getting here. It just felt like there wasn't a lot of thought into how is she going to get on this, how is she going to get off this, how is this going to look, how is that going to look.
Lots of people
I get
have problems today.
but not to the same degree as Ireland. That was my thing, and I just honestly felt like she was a bit of a deer in the headlights. And I'm honest, that is my honest opinion. I just didn't like it, and I think if you look at the rehearsal clip on Eurovision.tv's YouTube bit, then you can see it's just very awkward. The dancers aren't right. There's just so many issues I have with this, and I really wanted it to do well, but honestly, every other song I liked today, so this has to be my last.
Ireland was dark.
You really wanted to do well. Well, Chris Halpin, this is the way to do it. Anyway, what's the question?
Listen, her milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, but I understand Chris's position, actually. I think my positive spirit is based on the potential that is there once she hits all the cues, but he is right. It did appear slightly under-rehearsed, and I think we should all actually admit that that is the truth. However, the potential which we see is overwhelming, and so I'm gonna straddle this fence real good. It feels real nice.
You
All
know,
right.
I think you're due for an internship at the Commonwealth Heads of States
All right, so-
Secretariat.
Actually, I don't have any disappointments today, so I pass the mic on to Deppin. I'm just kidding, Latvia. Listen, I didn't have high expectations, but I had higher expectations a few weeks ago than I did after Supernova. After Supernova, I said dead in cold water, dead on arrival, whatever the phrase is. But then I read the lyrics, and I was like, dang, this woman's feeling it. I'm feeling her. But then we got here, and it's worse than at Supernova. Supernova was more atmospheric. It just feels like they've been swallowed by the stage. And girl, talk about deer in headlights. This is a deer that's been hit by the Jeep. Okay, her eyes are all big, and she's just going like this, like she's been hit by the Jeep. This deer needs to run into the field. She needs to have more dynamism. She just needs to be more Bambi. Bambi had more expressions. In any case, my disappointment is Latvia.
Oh, do you know what? It's funny. It's really unfortunate to have to echo that. But
Here we go.
I'm going to say Austria. You know what?
Oh, interesting.
You know what? We got to mix this up. You know, I'm going to say Austria because perfect sounds. Sonically, this is on point. Visually, it's lacking and it's lackluster. I never had high hopes for Latvia anyway. It was always a lullaby, even at its best. So really, I would be deceiving myself if I expected to deliver more than I already deliver more than what
Yeah.
I've already.
You can't be
gauged.
disappointed in something you didn't have any expectations for necessarily.
Yes, exactly. It's not the prodigal child returning home. But you know what? Panda.
You want some bamboo?
She could have brought some more color to this. She could have brought some more color. I get the whole. In fact, there was no transition. It was off color, then on color.
Please tell us your famous quote.
It was like, how can you come here with blue hair and then shoot in black and white?
We should be clear that
Really
was
and
Only
truly.
the first rehearsal.
That was a technical
Yes, the
problem.
first
The
run.
last run through, she did have the blue hair on show.
Completely, from start to finish. Oh, well, then you know what? That brings me to my point. I actually don't have a loser.
Miss Congeniality.
We did not say
Whatever. Getting back on track. So my 2 winners. Oh, is that what you're
I'll
doing?
just say one thing.
Oh.
Panda, this semifinal, we should say, this semifinal, this chunk was so strong on the whole. I think on the whole, we were all...
Unsurprisingly, because tomorrow is meant to be the stronger half.
This semifinal is the bloodbath we always talk about. It is real, and people really upped their game for the most part. So choosing a winner is very hard for all of us. We had this conversation before we sat down. It's very difficult.
Having said that, this particular chunk of 9 are largely borderlines. So it's really anybody's game.
Yes, so Angus, please kick us off with your first winner.
My first winner. Okay, so this is actually, well, I'm waiting for Chris's incredulous look because actually my first winner from the day is Ireland. I have to say it purely because the potential in that is fantastic, but not just potential because she delivered. There is a fantastic shot in the bridge where Sarah's on top of a bar amidst a starscape. She spins around on it. She looks phenomenal. It's a fantastic moment that we have been looking for from them, and it just shows, you know, last year was not a fluke staging moment for Ireland. They didn't really, and that alone, I have so much faith in because the rest of it can be fixed. The stool didn't work. You know what? I've got on many a bar stool in my time, and it hasn't turned around for me on the first go. But you know what? You lubricate it up and it spins like a dream. The point is, that shot on the bar is fantastic. I think a lot of people at home will sympathize with having been lying on a bar at the end of the night and spinning for a starscape. She sounded fantastic.
With the slit.
Is this Hatari now?
The point is, Ireland is my first winner of the day.
Thank you.
Done.
On to
Suzanne?
So I have to give honorable mention to both Denmark and Ireland because I really loved both performances.
But they did not make your winner.
But my first winner of the day is Romania. Woohoo! I love vampires. I love the quirky, crazy, wild, funky humor that you find in vampire television shows and vampire movies, and Esther just did such a fantastic job with the facial expressions. It was haunted, it was eerie, it was dramatic, it was fun. I love the staging and I can't wait to see it again.
So we were just whispering because I wanted to see if anyone else had chosen Romania as a winner. So Debin, why don't you go?
Because I didn't tell you, I tricked you. It's Romania! Oh my God. You know, I feel like I have journeyed with this for so long, and every time I see it, I hear it, it improves. Seriously, I kid you not. Romania is growing and growing and growing. And I think what we've seen at rehearsal today is still light years away from total slayer drillness honey at her semi-final. I really think this is great. The Dracula story is fabulous. It ties in with the whole Romanian narrative and also with her personal story of being ditched on a Sunday by this idiot who actually...
Is this a true story?
Apparently it is. But you know what's also very... It is. And yeah, I really like this. I think I cannot over-rinse it, but I really love it.
Yeah, this is the story of a woman who goes mad because she can't let go of her ex, and so that's why she is so crazed. She becomes the daughter of Dracula, she told us in our interview after her rehearsal. At the end of the show, we see a gorgeous flower. This is actually a peony. Her name is Ester Peony, the most beautiful flower. And so through the madness and all this drama, she is reborn as a flower, so you can say there's a happy ending. In her drama, trapped in this house of sorrow, she finds the fertilizer, comes through the shit, and emerges as a beautiful peony.
I'm relating more and more to Esther in this song. This may emerge as my winner just because of the story.
Chris, your first winner.
Such a lyricist.
You know what? With all the shade that has been going around in my direction, I'm almost tempted to say Latvia is one of my winners. But actually, Latvia is my number 3 today, because my number 2, or one of my winners at least, would be Sweden.
Oh, that's good.
John Lundvik. I've never been a big fan of Too Late for Love. I didn't really get it. I think he was a very charismatic singer, but honestly, I've usually preferred Bigger Than Us in terms of the two John Lundvik songs. I think if you put those two as a pair together, John and Bigger Than Us, I think it'd be a better combination. But today, he really, really stood out. It was a great way to end the day of rehearsals. Admittedly, we then heard it about like 10 times in a row because they just kept on playing it back, but the indoctrination isn't the reason I'm saying it's one of the winners. He is just so charismatic, so good. Yeah, really, really strong. And I could definitely see this winning almost in a way by default.
And you know why? Because it's never too late for love.
It is never too late for love. So Angus.
No, William.
Oh, William, have you? Yeah.
Oh, Romania was my
Romania.
first. Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't say y'all. Romania's my first winner.
Yeah.
Angus, time for your second winner.
Okay, my second, and if you put a gun to my head, would be my one winner of the day is Leonora from Denmark. I thought this was fantastic. And I have liked this since the national final and was in the minority. But everyone's saying she was cold, this was lightweight, it didn't make impact. And the minute she came on the press center, the whole place fell in love with her. She took us to cloud 9. She climbed a chair and a ladder, which is a challenge in itself. Health and safety hazard, as Chris mentioned. She's taking her life in her hands on stage, and I salute that kind of endeavor. I just thought this was fantastic. She sounded so good. This is so sweet. We were chatting about it in our review that you can watch on the channel. Chris said it feels kind of Addams Family. I get the Von Trapps from this. The backing, it's just a very cute, sweet, lovely moment. It's a beautiful, peaceful thing. And it is the kind of thing that will make it into the top 10. And yeah, I thought this is wonderful. It was my winner of the day. And I think, no doubt, Denmark is qualifying. Now the question is how high and how far can they go? For me. Suzanne, what about you?
So, can we start with a group hug? So much love. And I wanted to start with a group hug because one, it's never too late for love.
Yeah.
And two, John Lundvik, your smile is infectious and it is just like one big hug, one big embrace. And I can't wait to hug you just because I love your smile. The way you draw people in is amazing. It is never too late for love. This is such a happy, positive song, but I hope you are not holding on. Move on, because it is time to go. Somebody needs to love you like that. Somebody needs to want to be your light also. But I love, love, love this song. The moment, the Scotty beam me up moment, or beam me down moment, where the backup dancers come along, I absolutely love It's Like John Lundvik and the Knights because those women are stunning. They look a little bit like Gladys Knight. The energy on stage is fantastic, and we were all just singing along and loving the song.
Tap in at wiwibloggs.com.
You know what? Despite being a childless spinster for what may seem like many generations, I still firmly believe that it's not too late for love. You know what? Can I get a round of applause up in here for John Lundvik? Ditto, 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 Suzanne Adams. I agree. I think this is so great, so fabulous. It's that burst of color, the burst of light, the silver shimmer. Everything about this is totally on point. Given the Swedish hallmark of quality where everything is A game, I can't see this, A, not only advancing, but B, it's not even about that anymore. It's about, is it a top 5 finish, yay or nay? That's really where I'm pitching this. This is absolutely fabulous. And John just looks so happy and he believes in his message. And when, you know, the ladies join him, it's not a dirty message about somebody dipping it. It's just about, you know, it's just about people coming together. Is it too late for love? You know, this love is not just physical love. It's spiritual, it's emotional, it's wholesome, it's nourishing. There's no dirty hanky-panky going on in here, you know? Keeping it real.
Listen, you alluded to Despofuego, aka
Do you know what? You keep
Switzerland.
throwing me in
No. I'm about to kind of agree with you. Not really. So Switzerland's Luca Hänni has a great performance. I don't yet think it is perfected, obviously. I think other acts are just further along in their vision, but I believe in his vision, and I think the potential is still there for him to slay near the top. But based on the first rehearsal, he's not my winner of the day. I've just got to keep it real. So I see the reservations you have, but I think they will be corrected. I really think the camera angles, the kind of lighting when it was a bit too dark, all of that stuff will be fixed. So he's not my winner today. He's my honorable honorable mention.
But generally, the narrative is for those who have won or grown.
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
disappointment. I mean, this
Listen,
honorable
it
mention.
was an honorable
I'm sorry,
mention.
it wasn't in the brief because I have not. been
No,
given-
excuse me.
I haven't been given
because
an
if you're
opportunity.
evaluating your winner based on potential, it's different than based on your winner of who delivered.
Exactly.
Spit it.
Okay, so then Denmark and
Thank you.
Sweden are my other two. Basically, I'm choosing between Denmark and Sweden for my other winner, and I didn't think
So
I.
now we're not getting another honorable mention.
As you always say to me, pick one.
Pick one.
You know what?
You gotta pick a side.
I'm gonna go for the
gets
one.
honorable mention.
I'm gonna
One
go
is
for
the
the.
one.
Thank you, Mrs. Adams.
Well, you know, now she's aired it. She's aired it.
Listen, who is his one winner?
I never thought I would say this a few weeks ago.
Oh my god, yes. Oh my god,
Are we
yes.
swaying?
We're swaying to Stockholm. John Lundvik, Sweden is my other winner. I think this has so much more warmth now. It feels less sterile. My issue with Sweden is always that things are too perfect and too sterile. This is still perfect and polished, but it doesn't feel sterile. And I think it comes down to those backing vocalists. There is something about them that give this humanity. John, of course, is great. John is very likable. He's delivering, he's selling, but they add a depth and a humanity that, you know, yeah, they were also in Stockholm, but now they come into sharper focus. The dresses bring them into the light. I think they were all darkly dressed in Sweden. Is that right?
Yeah.
And they emerged from the darkness.
And there's sass. There was one point back in
Personality.
Singer just went like that, winked at him like and did her shoulder shimmy. I'm like, sister girl.
Listen, that woman you're talking about has more personality in her cheek than some of these contestants have in their whole body. Okay, I am not gonna name
Absolutely,
names.
absolutely.
I'm loving John Lundvik, and now this is a real threat to slay to the top.
So do you know what I'm going to do on Thursday the 16th of May in the second semi-final, just before it starts? I'm going to go down to the beach in Tel Aviv and I'm going to get a handful of sand and I'm going to throw it down on a screen and make some art because Moldova is my second winner of the day. And I know a lot of people, and I've seen so many people on Twitter who have been saying, oh, it's just a copy, and even our own Lucy Percy has been very sort of, I don't understand this. And I said to her, it's very simple. I think that a lot of people aren't going to remember Mika Newton, the casual fans. No. Maybe that's not a problem. Maybe that is a problem on the Thursday when it's not casual fans, it's the hardcore. But it's getting through to the Saturday night, and then it's going to be climbing the table because it's so good. Her vocal was so on point. And the art, yes, it's similar, but Ukraine don't own sand art.
No.
If something worked, and it worked that well for Ukraine in 2011 with a worse song and arguably a worse vocalist, why not bring it when you've got a vocalist with the talent of Anna Obadescu?
How did it connect to the song?
It's such a standout niche interpretation to use sand art, almost like Mika Newton owns it. Honestly, at
No,
this point.
Ksenia owns it. Ksenia, the sand artist, she uses her art to tell stories, other people's stories that have existed, you know, for centuries, fables. This is another story. She sees the story in Stay, and she's staying with it with her sand.
It might be, it's cynical in an attempt to get your song to qualify,
100%.
but who cares? It's going to qualify. If that's your goal, good job, Moldova.
Don't show up if you don't want to win, and that's what
Exactly.
Moldova's
Yeah.
doing.
This is a competition at the end of the day. Do what it takes to get through.
Yeah. Hello, Tanya Harding. Okay. I'm just kidding. She was never tried. She's good. She's good. She ain't in jail. She maintains her innocence and denies all allegations. All right. In any case, that's what we think. What do you think? Who was a grower? Who was a shower for you? Let us know here on wiwibloggs.
Make sure to subscribe to the channel, like, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another video.
Don't forget to tune in to the live stream every single day.
You can follow all of our social media down in the description box below. I don't know what's left for Devon, but...
Oh, you know what?
I do.
I read the shade. So scribble down below. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter. We are also on YouTube and Facebook. And find us on there, individual accounts. Because you know what? Suzanne is slaying, and that's all I'm saying.
And don't forget, ESC Wee, you can order your limited edition Eurovision DNA kit with free shipping. ESC Wee code.
And
that's the cool thing about it. It's only a swab.
And the link is bit.ly/wiwibloggs. wiwiDNA. That's bit.ly/wiwiDNA.
L-Y, not L-E-E like his middle name.
Yeah.
9 countries rehearsed. That's a whole lot of heritage. It's our heritage. Find out my heritage, your heritage. We'll see you later. Bye!